I decided to shave because it was time for a reset. However, there was one stipulation from my wife: no mustache. It was time for me to shave. I feel like it's a rite of passage that I must do in order to transition into a new chapter in my life. In my previous video, I shared that next chapter. Before shaving, it is imperative that I ask my wife. She said it was cool as long as I do not have a lone mustache. That is her boundary. That is her preference. With her being my wife and the only one I need to impress, I should honor that request.
So the last thing is the mustache, and I would love to keep the mustache, but the wife does not like the mustache. So the mustache must go. Mustache you later.
And setting boundaries has made our relationship, our marriage, stronger. Once again, I'm in my backyard, gonna check myself out, and this looks really weird. But it's so soft. It's so weird. Oh, bow. Ooh, yeah, strike a pose. Bow, bow, bow. No mustache. Bow, 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 bow. Right here, this angle. What about this angle? I'm gonna talk about this angle. Bow. Number one, it takes the guessing game out of a relationship. If you know what's expected, you're not spending all that energy investing on what you should do, how you should do it, can you do it, is it okay? You take all that guessing game out, and you can take all that energy and focus it on cultivating and growing your relationship. For example, deciding where to eat. If you know your partner, your husband, your wife does not like, let's say, Mexican food, then you take that out of the equation. Maybe they don't like Thai food, maybe they don't like pizza. Well, if they don't like pizza, then you already know that you're not gonna go to a restaurant that serves pizza. And if you know the boundaries and you know what's expected, you can work on growing and cultivating your relationship. Number two, when you set boundaries, it is going to reveal to you the people you want to invest in. If you are in a relationship, a friendship, whoever it may be, and they're not respecting your boundaries, chances are you probably shouldn't invest in them. Now, hear me out when I say this. Just because you don't have the time or the energy to invest in someone doesn't mean you do not love them. I mean, I imagine there's a lot of people, especially in my life, that I do love, but I just don't have the time to invest in. Now, when you are in a relationship with someone and you say, for example, I'm allergic to peanuts, can you please not eat peanuts around me? And if they try to find an excuse to eat peanuts around you, chances are you should probably not invest in that relationship.
Hey Ollie, pass me a peanut. I'm allergic to peanuts. I just wanted you to pass me a peanut. Are you allergic to passing me a peanut? Thanks.
Another example would be sharing the gospel. If I have a friend and I start to talk about Jesus, I start talking about God, and I'm sharing the gospel with them, and they say to me, hey, James, can you not talk about Jesus and all that God stuff around me? Number one, I should respect that boundary, and if I continue to press and go over that boundary, I'm not being a good representative of Christ, right? Also, I'm not loving them. I'm not respecting that boundary. Now, when both individuals are willing to listen and respect boundaries, you have a flourishing relationship. Both individuals are willing to put themselves aside to love and serve the other. Now, one thing I want to keep in mind is that my audience is very mixed. I'm a teacher, and I know that I have a lot of kids and adults that subscribe to my channel, and I want to do an illustration, an example that I use in the classroom. For example, if a student is in your bubble and they're poking you and you don't say anything, you're telling that student that it's okay to poke you. However, If you establish that boundary and you tell them, no, that's not okay, you have set the boundary. And what you must do, you must communicate that effectively so that way that boundary is set. And what happens is that sometimes what I would do is I would practice that. I would role play with the student and I would say, you want to use an assertive tone so that way the individual knows that it's not okay to be poking you. Once again, strong boundaries create strong relationship. And one thing that is very imperative in establishing strong boundaries is how we set boundaries. If I set my boundary using a very harsh tone, I should expect a harsh response. Proverbs 15:1 states, "A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." And sometimes when we use a harsh tone, we may have people not respect our boundaries.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Regardless, people should respect boundaries. But in this case, for my wife, if I am given a tone that is harsh and unloving, then she may be more inclined to respond in an unloving manner because I set a tone in a very unloving manner. Now, you may come across some people who think setting boundaries is unloving, and that is a red flag because they want to control the relationship. They're not willing to listen. They're not willing to respect your boundaries. So if you are in a relationship where someone is thinking you setting a boundary is not loving, then you might want to reconsider that relationship. I mean, love is about setting boundaries. 1 Corinthians 13, that verse, that passage that everyone uses for their marriage. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love does not envy or boast. That is establishing a boundary that love is that and not other things. If you want to strengthen your relationships, either if it's a friendship or if it's a marriage, you want to create strong boundaries. And through that, you eliminate the guesswork. Instead of guessing and making assumptions, you can take all that energy and focus on loving, cultivating, and growing your relationship. And don't forget, how we establish those boundaries are very important. Proverbs 15:1. Now, if you're just joining my channel, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day, out of your life, to click on my link, to watch this video. You could be doing anything else, anything, but you decided to sit there and watch this video. So I want to say thank you. Next, I want to set a boundary and tell you that the focus of my channel, my ministry, is number one, to share, to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. I don't want it to be kind of a hidden or a secret or a way to kind of pull people or viewers in. That's not the purpose. I want you to know that if you're watching my channel, you are going to hear about Jesus. You are going to hear about the gospel. So if that's something that you're into, please like and subscribe. If not, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And I hope that this was a blessing to you. The second purpose of this channel is to share stories, to share the things that are going in my life, to share whatever wisdom that I have gathered from being a believer, a husband, a father, a millennial, being Filipino, being an American, being a b-boy, being a teacher, whatever it is. I just want to share the wisdom I've gathered and just tell stories. Thank you so much again for watching, and I appreciate it, and I hope you have a blessed day.